Dude, can I tell you something? I was shattered when things started getting quote unquote back to normal. Like, COVID was horrible, right?
Yeah.
But you kind of saw when people were
Yeah.
stuck at home with their
Especially
family.
in Israel, man, people were going back to all these concerts and all this kind of stuff.
It was an opportunity. Like if a lot of people, again, it's all God's fault, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's a separate conversation.
This is the thing that kills me. Again, back to my friend, the one who's not asleep. He's ostensibly not asleep. We were listening. There was a very, very famous song that came out right at the lockdown by Rishai Ribo, the singer in Israel. And basically the premise of the song was like, what are we going to learn from this? What are we learning from this? He was talking about, he starts with Purim and then it goes into this Parsha and that Parsha, and it's like 6 weeks went by and he's like, what have we learned from this? And dude, my friend, the guy, he was playing that song on loop in the apartment. It's in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And now it's like, it's almost like we're back to sleep. We haven't learned anything. I don't know. So now, like you said, we need something like monumental to just like jolt us.
You know what it could be?
Stupor.
You know what it could be? That friend that you were telling me about, who was supposed to be awake, but then I think it was just the crushing disappointment. Could be. I'm just giving him. This is a possibility.
Yeah.
Where he realized that COVID, people, are stuck at home for a while. They get used to being at home, and the children are at home too. And we have this online connectivity where you don't need to go to the office anymore. The kids don't need to go to their stupid classrooms. You don't need to commute. You don't need to put children on a bus to put them in a building, right? They could stay home and they can learn, and you can be there. And then when people were trying to get away from that, right? Instead of that increasing, instead of that changing the whole world, then the get back to normal shit happened. So it seemed like the darkness just kept getting darker. You understand? Like even people who were hopeful at the beginning of COVID, for the first part, who saw maybe something good can come of this, right?
Yeah.
When they saw things getting back to normal,
it
was such a crushing thing that they just like the darkness overwhelmed them. That could be another explanation for why some people just gave up and they're like, whatever. It's too dark. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. The song was called Keter Melucha, like crown of kingship, I guess you could say, call
it. Keter Melucha.
Yeah, it was like, dude, it was like he released it. I guess the lockdown started like right after Purim, and he released it like basically right before Pesach or after Pesach, April 8th, 2020. So he was going over, it was like, there's a, here, B'yom Truma L'Tetzaveh, Yom, you know what, I'll just take the lyrics and I'll translate them like just directly.
Keter Melucha.
Yeah. I'll read to you the lyrics in English, like what he was talking about.
Okay, but can I just can I put forward something for a minute? We don't have to go this way, but like we should talk about. I don't know. Like I was thinking about discussing this. Like talk about the Sefirot.
No, we can. We can do that. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so he goes. Okay. Bein Truma L'Tetzaveh. Okay, so between these parshas, Yom Huledet is like a little weird birthday. Everything's seemingly normal here. What an audience and love, I guess. I don't know. Between. And then he's basically like listing between this parsha and that parsha, and then Esther, Purim, Feast of Joy, who will park and who will travel, who will bear the result. And then another, then the next parsha, the world stops crowding, shut up and shut up. Okay, it's like Migdal Bavel, Shuv, Ishmael and Edom and Israel, and then he goes, there was no one in the city and in the field. There's no longer anyone to deal with. The Tower of Babel is confused again. Balbel. And then it's like, and then the chorus. What do you want from us? What do you want us to understand from that? How to move away and get closer in this pain. Want to live, I guess, with you and not be alone with Hashem. What do you want us to learn from that? And how will we know to unite in this separation until we give you the royal crown? Keter Melucha. Also, it's royal crown. And then it's like, okay, and then between this parsha and Vayikra, we're all in the same boat. Spring has arrived. Passover, Pesach is coming. Pesach Haba, and with him great hope that will tear the evil to decree. My uncle went for a bride. I guess it's direct translation. My uncle went for a bride. We no longer have the strength face to fight. Something like that. These are direct translations, obviously. Yeah, so he's just like, he's like saying all the parshas and all that stuff, and then he's like, what the heck are we learning? And then it's funny, like, Israel got the vax, they rolled out the vax right after that, very, very quickly. And then, like, what is it, like, it's end of May and June, like, back to quote unquote normal life. Israel went back to normal, so to speak. I remember when I came back there in end of May, it was like nothing, and then right away the supposed Delta came out.
Yeah.
Delta variant, and then all of a sudden, like, Bibi was like, okay. And then America went berserk. America specifically went berserk with all the lockdowns and all this, and all the mandate stuff. And then Bibi's like, okay, now we got to do the booster, and it's waning. And then they started telling us, oh, we never said that this thing was going to stop you from getting COVID. You could still get COVID. Shmovid. It's like they just like started. That's when they started moving the goalposts.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and seemingly nobody learned anything.
It's, I mean, the vaccine is a direct. I mean, I don't know if this is the case. It just seems like that to me. It seems like it was a direct result of wanting to get back to normal, because everybody was so excited about it. It was so easy for them to do this to people because they were so excited about it.
Avodah Zarah. The energy was, I don't know, the way Bibi was doing it was very Avodah Zarah-esque.
You got so sick of being at home with your family, working from the computer, spending time with your kids, with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
You were missing. What were you missing so much?
Yeah.
I don't understand. And it was the result of that, of wanting to run away, wanting to get back to whatever the hell you thought was so amazing about life before.
Yeah.
The result of that is take a poison. You want that back? Take a poison.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to look at it. It's almost like mida keneged mida, which I'm not. Again, like when you hear some rabbi say that, it's almost like they're saying, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's like they agree with it. Like, yeah, I mean, listen, you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Yeah.
People who say stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm happy that it went down like that, or I'm not saying that there's any satisfaction in seeing people suffer for making mistakes. In fact, I wish that none of that was part of reality, but that's what it looks like. I'm just saying that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
That's what looks like what happened, and it's still happening. We had like the world kind of had an opportunity.
Yeah.
To be like, all right, listen, I'm not in such a rush to get back to this job. Okay, look, I didn't think I could work from home, but I seem to be doing it. I mean, what do I do at an office? I go and I sit down at a table.
Yeah.
I go on the computer. I have a phone. I have all that at home. Why do I need to?
No, but
You know?
listen, there are things like I was talking to my sister about this. You know, she does work for a company. There are things sometimes like when you're next to your coworkers, there are things you can see, and there are things they can show you. You can show them. It is a different dynamic.
It's not worth it though. I mean,
It's not worth it. It's true in the long run.
you know, learn to adjust. Like,
Yeah,
you know, figure out a way to use the technology that God gave us for
yeah,
good.
yeah,
He gave us connectivity so that we don't have to get into, you know, spend an hour in traffic and,
yeah.
you know, and rubberneck a
That's for
horrible, a horrible, you know,
sure.
accident for some poor schmuck who's trying to get to work and
Yeah,
got into an accident. For
exactly.
what?
Hmm.
It wasn't
It's like
even
the movie,
necessary.
it's like the movie Office Space. You know, the first scene of Office Space where he's like sitting in traffic and then he keeps changing lanes, and every lane he changes, every time he changes lanes, he's back to
Yeah.
standstill. And it's like you watch that, it's funny, but it's like it's not so funny because you're it's like real life. Yeah,
It's like we were given the gift of like liberation from those things.
yeah,
The opportunity to see where, you know, you don't need to go to Cancun to have a great experience. You don't need to go to these places. Just
yeah,
learn how to be at home with your family. You learn to enjoy these things. Uh, that could have been a stepping stone to something greater. Like